Okay. So now I will write the equation for output voltage V naught. So the total voltage applied here is VDD, and I told you whenever a current flowing through RD, you will have a drop, a voltage drop. So the voltage drop is nothing but ID into RD. Voltage is nothing but current into resistance, isn't it? So you are having a voltage drop across RD, and you will subtract the voltage from VDD. So the remaining voltage is nothing but V naught, which is equal to VDD minus IDRD. Okay. You are having the total voltage VDD, and you will subtract this IDRD from VDD so that you will get the output voltage V naught, which is equal to VDS. Clear, Bhavani? Any doubt with respect to this equation number one? Is it clear for you?
Yes, sir, clear.
Good. So this is the equation for V naught, and I just want to tell you how this amplification will happen now. That is, amplification means you are getting an enlarged output, okay, which is an exact replica of the input with respect to the frequency. The only thing is that you are getting a bigger amplitude, a very large amplitude at the output terminal. What I'll do is now, based upon this equation, okay, suppose I have a positive change in input. Okay, I have a positive change, or I mean, the input has changed positively. Input have been increased in a positive direction, because you have to assume that your input is continuously varying sinusoidal waveform. At particular instant of time, maybe it will be positively changing, and later it will change negatively as well, or it will increase or decrease in negative direction as well. Okay, you know the shape of the sine wave, no? Hmm? So at certain point of time, you have a positive variation, and at certain point of time, you can expect negative variations as well. So whenever you feel your input is positively changing, obviously this input Vi, it is coming across gate source as well. So you have a positive change in VGS. Okay, if you have a positive change in Vi, then you can expect a positive change in VGS. Means your gate source voltages has increased positively. And what happens if gate voltage increase positive? What happens if gate voltage increases positively for an N MOSFET? This is an N channel MOSFET. You can see the arrow mark at the source. This is an N channel MOSFET. As far as an N channel MOSFET is concerned, always the channel current will get enhanced if you increase the gate voltage positively, because more and more electron get attracted toward the gate terminal, and it will provide a strengthened channel. Okay, and so through that the current ID will also get change, or it will also increase. So here you can have a large current flow ID if you have increased this VGS positively. Understood? So when VGS increases, ID increases. So that is a conclusion. When VGS increases, what happens? ID increases. How does VGS increases? With VI increases. Okay. So VI increase means ID increase. ID increase means what will happen? ID increase means what will happen? IDRD also increase. Okay. I repeat. When VGS, VI increase, VGS increase, because of that ID increases. So IDRD increases. So here a large increase in current flow will create a large voltage drop across RD, and this will get subtracted from VDD. Okay, a large parameter, when it is getting subtracted from a fixed power supply, what will happen? Will the output will go to negative direction, or it will still increase positively? What is your opinion? I repeat, you are going to subtract a large change. This is a large variation in drain current. As a result, you are getting a large voltage drop across RD, and you are subtracting this large voltage from VDD. You are subtracting this large voltage from VDD. As a result, you will get a negative signal or positive signal here, or positive change here. You are subtracting a large parameter. Okay, you are subtracting a very large value from a fixed voltage. So the output will go towards negative direction. Understood? For example, if you're having 50 or 20 or 10 volt here, 12 volt power supply you have. IID, RD, maybe it will, there is a large change. For example, 30 volt change you have. gone through. Then that 12 volt minus 30 volt change means you are expecting a negative output, isn't it? So we are expecting a negative output whenever you are having a positive change in input. Okay, I repeat. If you have a positive change in input, you will get a highly negative change in the output terminal, which means that your amplifier is a inverting amplifier, or you will have a 180-degree phase shift at the output with respect to the input. Okay. So corresponding to a positive variations in the input signal, you are having a large negative variation, not the same change you are not going to reflect at the output. You are having a large negative variation at the output side corresponding to any small positive change in the input side. Okay, that is what is the amplifier means. Repeat, corresponding to a very small change in the output, you are getting a large change at the output side. Okay, what kind of change? Negative change. So you are expecting a 180-degree phase shift. Same case you can explain in the other way also. For example, if your input goes towards negative direction, means if Vi goes to a negative direction, or there is a small negative change in Vi, means your gate voltage polarity is going to decrease. Isn't it? The positivity at the gate voltage, that is going to decrease. So as far as an N MOSFET is concerned, if the gate voltage decreases, means what happens? What happens? The current flow decrease. Isn't it? You are expecting always a positive gate voltage at the N MOSFET for the conduction to take place. But unfortunately, if your input goes towards negative value, because this is a sinusoidal waveform, here you are giving a continuously varying signal as a speech. So you can expect an analog signal or a sine wave. You have a positive cycle as well as a negative cycle. Okay. So whenever you have a negative variation or negative signal at the gate input, that is going to reflect your current flow. Your current flow will decrease. ID will decrease. ID decrease means ID RD decrease. So you have a negative change in ID RD, which means you are subtracting a negative voltage from VDD. Understood? You are subtracting in negative polarity or negative potential ID RD from VDD. So minus of minus will become more positive. Isn't it? So your output is going to be more positive for a small negative change in input. Understood? For a small negative change in output, you are getting a very large positive change in the output. Again, we can say that 180-degree phase shift has occurred, or your output is a exact phase reversal or 180-degree phase reversal with respect to the input. So it is an inverting amplifier. So this is what is the working of a MOSFET as a simple amplifier. Any doubt? So the all explanations are based upon this particular equation only. How did you got this equation? By just applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law. Okay. So we have gone through this Kirchhoff's voltage law equation. Based upon that, we have explained two cases. One case is if your input goes beyond, if the input varies positively. Second case, if your input varies negatively. What happens? You are getting a 180-degree phase shift at the output with respect to the input. Means your amplifier is an inverting amplifier. Okay. The conclusion is any small change in the input is going to create a large change in the output. That large change in the output is that polarity of the change in output will be opposite to that of the polarity of the input, which means that this is an inverting amplifier. Now, the main important thing, this is a sure question, that is how we are going to derive the transfer cara. Okay. How you are going to derive the transfer characteristics of a MOSFET amplifier. So this is very important. So to draw the transfer characteristics, you have to draw the DC load line first. Okay, so this already I have explained the last class, but I'll explain it once more. How you are going to draw the DC load line with respect to the drain characteristics. Then after fixing the Q point, we will be analyzing the variations of ID with respect to VDS. And from this only we are going to draw the transfer cara. So this is a transfer cara. Okay. So basically, if the question is like derive the transfer parameters, don't try to draw this as such. First of all, you have to draw this graph. So to draw this graph, you need to fix the Q point, or you need to draw the DC load line, then merge the DC load line with respect to this characteristic curves, and later on we'll derive the transfer characteristics from this drain character. Okay, so initially you need to draw the drain characteristics, and from that only you have to draw the transfer characteristics. That depends on the maximum marks of the question. Okay. So if they have asked to derive the transfer chara means some sort of mathematical equations will be there. Based upon that only we are drawing this chara. So this chara is, this characteristics is drain characteristics. It is a graphical construction to determine the transfer characteristics. Don't think that this is transfer chara. This is not the transfer chara. This is the output characteristics or drain characteristics of the MOSFET. So after drawing this drain characteristics only, we are going to draw the transfer characteristics, because you need some derivations in between. Okay, some analytical approaches should be there in between to draw the transfer chara from the drain chara. So first what I will do is, basically I will write the output voltage. VDS is equal to VDT minus IDRD. So this is the output voltage equation you have. Then what you will do is, you will write the equation for ID. Okay, rearrange this equation. So IDRD is equal to VDD minus VDS. Rearrange this equation. Rearrange this equation in the form of Y equal to mx plus c. Okay. This topic I have covered in the last class. In the y-axis, you have ID, isn't it? Whenever you take the output characteristics of a MOSFET, in the y-axis you are having the drain current, and the x-axis you are having VDS, that is drain voltage. Okay. So rearrange it in this way. You have to rearrange and compare. So y is equal to mx plus c, means x is VDS. This is your m. So slope is minus 1 by RD. So slope of this equation is minus 1 divided by RD. So this is slope of the straight line of the DC load line. Now, how we are going to find the two coordinates? Because whenever you have to draw the line is nothing but the locus of 2 points, isn't it? So you need to find the coordinate of this point as well as this point. That's D and A. A is nothing but that is lying on the x-axis, and D is a point that is lying on y-axis. So you need to find the coordinate of this point as well as this point. So first what we will do is, I will put VDS is equal to 0. Okay, so basic equation is, the basic equation is VDS is equal to VDT minus IDRD. This is nothing but your KVL equation, whatever you have done in the previous section. So in that, first you put 0 here, because x-axis you are setting 0. To write any y-axis coordinate, you need to replace x-axis as 0. So 0 equal to VDT minus IDRD. So from that you find ID. From that you find ID. So ID is equal to VDT by RD. ID is equal to VDT by RD. Okay. Similarly, put y-axis as 0. What is y-axis? Y-axis is ID. So put ID equal to 0 here. So obviously VDS is going to be equal to VDD. So VDS is equal to VDD. So whatever I have shown in these two boxes, one is ID equal to VDD by RD. Second one is VDS is equal to VDD. So these two I have represented in x-axis and y-axis as point A and point D. Hope you got that. Okay. So this is your VDD. This is your VDD by RD. So how you have gone through these 2 points? Simply by writing KVL and putting the x parameter as 0 and y parameter as 0, and later you got the 2 points A and B. Join those 2 lines so that you will get the DC load line. Okay. Now, once you have this DC load line, next what you will do is you will plot these data. These 5 to 6 lines you will plot. That you already know, isn't it? This is your saturation region and this is a triode region. Initially, you have a small change in current, but later what happens? Once The saturation region has occurred. There is no change in ID even though you increase VDS. So even though you increase a drain to source voltage, there is no appreciable change in ID. It is going to be constant. That ID curve you can shift upwards like this. You can shift upwards for different VGS. So these are all for different VGS cases. So if VGS is very small, means the current is going to be very small. But that curve will shift upwards if VGS is very large. Okay. Now I will take one point. That point is Q. So this is the very apt location of Q point. Means the DC load line, whatever you have drawn as of now, that will get intercept with respect to these curves. Okay. All these curves, you have got one intersection points, isn't it? This is 1 point, this is 1 point, this is 1 point. All these are the intersection points of these characteristic curve with respect to the DC load line, whatever you have drawn as of now. But you have to ensure that your Q point, whatever you are putting as Q, it should be in the middle of this DC load line. What is the DC load line? AD. A is here, D is here. This is a DC load line. And the middle of this DC load line is nothing but your Q. So this should be your Q point. Understood? And the designer should be able to take this Q point in such a way that it should be always in the saturation region. And what happens if you have taken this Q point to this extremity? It will be in the triode, isn't it? These are all triode. This point, it is okay. Saturation. So it should be somewhere in the middle of the DC load line. And what happens if I've taken Q point down of this DC load line? Again, that will go in the cutoff. This is off. Cutoff means there is no current. Off region means there is no current. Okay. In the x-axis, you are having zero current. X-axis means current is zero. So you are not going to fix Q point here. You are not going to fix Q point here, but instead you are going to fix a Q point at the middle of the DC load line so that the linear amplification will take place. Bhavani, this is clear. This graph is clear for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, based upon that, I'm drawing the characteristic, transfer cara. Okay. So this is the transfer cara. So in the transfer cara, you are plotting the relation between VA and V0. So as far as the subject is concerned, the graphs are very important. The equations are very important rather than writing some unwanted theories. Okay. Be specific to the explanations. Don't put so many Mahabharatas and all. So just draw the graph and explain whatever the things. Be specific with respect to these explanations. Okay, right points. So first what we did is, first we have drawn the drain characteristics, and from the drain cara only we are coming to the transfer cara. Transfer cara is the plot between input and output. So in the x-axis you are having VI, in the y-axis you are having V0. The x-axis you are having VI, in the y-axis you are having V0. So what happens if your input is very less? This is this region. Okay, if your input is very less, means less positive, means it is very closer to zero. Your channel has not induced yet. In 10 MOSFET, the channel has not created yet. How can the conduction take place without any channel? There is no drain current. If there is no drain current, means what is your output? VDD. Because you have to see that output equation once more, then you will understand. Output equation VDS is equal to VDD minus ITRT. If there is no current means cut off. Why there is no current? There is no channel. Why there is no channel? Because your input is less positive. It is below the threshold. Understood? Your gate voltage is not above the threshold. It is below the threshold. At least you have to maintain a minimum input voltage so as to get channel induced and further conduction to take place. But here you have given an input in such a way that the channel has not induced yet. There is no drain current flow. So as a result, the IDRD is 0. IDRD 0 means what is VDS, Bhavani? IDRD 0 means what is VDS?
VTD.
VDD. Good. So as far as this region is concerned, your output is at VDD. See, this is at VDD because the region is off, cut off. Cut off means there is no drain current. Why there is no drain current? There is no channel. Why there is no channel? Because my input Vi is less than Vt. See, this is Vt. Here only you are getting Vt, but I am giving Vi which is very less than Vt. Means you are not having any channel. You are not having any current. You are not having any voltage drop. Okay. So this is at off. Now later what happens? You try to increase the voltage beyond Vt. So slowly, what will happen? Bhavani, can you guess what will happen if your voltage is greater than Vt means what will happen to the current, to the channel? Can you try to explain? If you apply the voltage greater than Vt, what will happen? Try to explain. You know that. Try to explain. If the input is greater than threshold means what will happen? Your channel will get induced, no? You will get the channel. Current will flow. So if there is current flow, what will happen? IDRD will be there. That is drop across RD will be there. Isn't it? Whenever a current flows through resistance means you are getting a drop. So that voltage you will have to subtract from VDD to get the output. So initially our voltage was VDD, but whenever you have a drop across RD, you are subtracting that to get the final output. So our inference is you are changing the input beyond the threshold. So in that case, you are getting the channel induced, means you are getting the current flow, means you are getting the voltage drop across RD. So your output now decreases. Okay. So this is what is known as saturation. So ID now gets saturated later on. When it will get saturated? When VDS is greater than or equal to VGS minus VT, at that particular point, it is getting saturated. Now, you are going to mark this Q point in the middle of this saturation region. This is the most desirable operating point that you can have with respect to this device. Now, what will happen beyond this point? Still, if you are trying to increase VA, it will go into the triode region. Again, this is not acceptable for us. So, as you can see from this figure, you have fixed a Q point at this level, and this is your input. Okay, this is your input, which is a weak signal to be amplified. And you have drawn two dotted lines at the two extreme levels. This is one extreme, this is one extreme. So your input is confining to this level. It is not going beyond this level or it is not coming below this level. So within this particular limit, it is varying. Okay. So with respect to this Vi, you have drawn V0 over here. And your output is not going above this particular limit. So you can say that it is not being clipped off. Why? Because you have maintained Q point in between or in the middle of the DC load line. Okay. So whenever you have a positive variation in the input, see, correspondingly, you are having a negative change in the output, but that negative change is very much greater when compared to the positive change at the input. So a small change in the input will lead to a large change in the output. Okay. Similarly, a small negative change in the input. This is negative change. Isn't it? This is negative change. Negative change means, see, you have a peak here. It is going below the reference line, I mean the DC level, and it is getting a negative peak over here. So this is negative change. So corresponding to this negative change in the output, you are having a positive change, large positive change in the output. This is an inverting amplifier. So you have an exact replica. The input signal, whatever you have, you are recreating at the output terminal without any shape changes. Isn't it? Same shape you have retained here. You're not having any sort of clippings at positive side or negative side. The only thing is that you have a sufficient amplitude here. You have retained sufficient amplitude at the output. So this is the amplified version of the input over here. Why did you got this faithful signal? Because you have kept the operating point at the stable. Okay, so this is the saturation region where you have fixed the Q point at the middle of the DC load line, and correspondingly you had a enlarged output with respect to the input. Okay. Now, I would like to mention what is gain. So do you think that some gain we have imposed to this amplifier? Is it unity or greater than unity? The gain will be greater than unity. And then only you will get the enlarged output with respect to the input. Okay. So you have a large change in the output corresponding to a small change in the output. So that large change in the output corresponding to a very small change in the input, that is what is known as gain AV. So AV is equal to dV0 divided by dVi. Okay, that is how much the output has been changed with respect to a small change in input, provided you have fixed your Q point. So your input is changing in such a way that your Q point has been fixed in a desirable point, and based upon that only your input is changing, and correspondingly you have got a desirable gain AV. And this is the slope of the transfer curve. So what is the slope? Slope is nothing but your voltage gain. Okay. Slope is change in Y parameter with respect to change in X parameter. Fine. So with respect to small change in the input, you are getting a very large change in the output. So this is nothing but your slope. What do you mean by slope? With respect to a small change in X parameter, suppose your Y parameter is changing in positive way, means your slope is positive. Okay. Suppose your X parameter in the X axis, you are having a negative change. Okay. And in the Y parameter, you are expecting a very large positive change. So again, there is some change in polarity, isn't it? In X axis, you are having a negative change, but in the Y axis, you are having a positive change. Again, the slope is going to be negative. Okay. So why here the slope is negative? Because it is an inverting amplifier. You are having a 180-degree phase shift at the output with respect to the input. This is what is known as voltage gain, which is nothing but equal to the slope of the transfer curve at the biasing point Q. Q is your biasing point. You have fixed the Q point in the feasible region. So with respect to that Q point, you have found out the slope of the transfer curve. And as far as this CS amplifier is concerned, the slope is negative, and thus we can say that this is an inverting amplifier. So till this point, we have come across the CS amplifier circuit. Along with that, how did you draw the transfer cara? Transfer characteristics can be constructed from the drain cara after drawing the DC load line. Okay, so this is very important question. Now towards the last topic, that is operation as switch. This is the second application of MOSFET. So till now we have explained how the MOSFET is operating as amplifier. So now onwards we'll be explaining how it is acting as switch. What do you mean by switch? Basically, what is a switch? switch will allow the flow of current, or at a particular point of time it will not allow the flow of current. That depends upon the input voltage or the terminal voltage. So likewise, here the MOSFET also it acts as a switch, means based upon the control voltage in the gate terminal, we can operate this as either as an on switch or an off switch. The term on switch means it will allow the conduction of current flow through the device. At the same time, if the device is off, the device is off means it will not allow the current flow to take place. So with respect to which parameter we are concerning this, or we are considering this, that depends only on the input signal we are applying. We are applying VI, that VI is applying toward the gate terminal. Okay. So whenever you are feeling that your gate terminal is having a voltage less than threshold, means there is no channel, there is no current. Under the situation, you can say that your switch is off. Clear? If your input is less than threshold, means there is no current flow, means your device is off. If your device is off, V0 is equal to VDD. If your device is off, means there is no current flow. Under that situation, your output is maximum. I told you how this is, how you have obtained this based upon your KVL equation. You can go back and refresh that equation. Based upon that only you got this. Clear, Bhavani? V0 equal to VDD. So this is off condition. Your device is now off. Switch is off, means there is no current flow, but your output is at VDD. Now, the converse case. If you are applying your input in a very large positive way, means it is greater than threshold, it is highly positive, means there is a large current flow. What will happen if there is a large current flow? The output will be low. That is, this is on switch. On switch means there is a high current flow, at the same time output is low. V0 will be very small. So this is the low voltage level which is close to 0 volt, and the high level which is close to VDD. Okay. So this is the operation of MOSFET as switch. Either it is on or it is off. That depends upon the control voltage that you're giving to the gate terminal. Okay. So these are the two applications. How the MOSFET is acting as a switch and how the MOSFET is acting as an amplifier. So in that you are supposed to draw the transfer characteristics. So this you can draw only. This you can draw only if with respect to this drain carrier. Okay, after the drain carrier only you are going to draw this transfer characteristics. Fine. Okay, I'll stop here, and later I'll continue at 2:30. Okay, I'll share the new link at 2:30.
3 o'clock.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
3 o'clock, not 2:30, 3 o'clock. Sorry, 3 o'clock.